The APC governorship flag bearer joins us live in the studio. Glad to have you join us on TVC News.
Thank you very much.
Now, I don't have to ask. I know that the campaign has been going well, apparently in your favor. From what our correspondent in Delta State reports, there's an event in which you campaigned in the home country of the PDP candidate, and it appears that you're also gaining ground there. But there's something I'm curious about, and it is the ethnic factor in this governorship election in Delta State, which also appears to be working in your favor. Even the PDP say that a PDP chieftain in your state says that you're favored to win because the PDP in Delta State has failed to adopt an Urhobo candidate. But should the candidacy be decided, or the deciding factor in this election be ethnic rather than merit?
Not at all. Bukola, the governorship of a state like Delta State cannot be decided based on ethnic. Merit, competence is what the people of Delta are looking for. Because this is a state that has been ruled for 16 years by the PDP, and if you visit that state, if you go through the state like I've gone out campaigning, the question is obvious: where and what has happened in the past 16 years? Deltans are not happy. You see poverty written all over their face. Unemployment is so high that our young people are reduced to driving Okada, as they call it. So there's much that Delta State is looking forward to. Ethnicity is a factor, but definitely not what Deltans will be looking for.
Now, you were recently adopted by the Urhobo Progressives Union, which promised to give the APC 1 million votes. How optimistic are you that this promise will be kept?
The Urhobo, I'm an Urhobo. From Delta Central, the state has 3 senatorial zones. There's the North, there's the Central, and then there's the Delta South. You find that each of these zones actually would like someone from their part of the country naturally to be the governor of the state. So they try to promote what they have to offer. Of course, the Urhobos are in 8 local governments, and they also have presence in Delta South, in 2 local governments. So the combined voting strength is very high. And they also have a unified front, a representative organization called the UPU. Through that organ, they've been promoting the fact that this time around, one of their own should be the governor of the state.
But what about the dissident factor? How will that affect the UPU's promise of delivering 1 million votes?
Well, it's true that 2 sons of Delta Central, the Urhobos, one is contesting under Labour, one is contesting under APC, which is myself. But the truth is that there are really 2 parties that are contesting this election. You will find that the Labour is an attachment of PDP. It's a strange situation. The Labour man is saying vote President Jonathan, and President Jonathan is saying vote Okowa, who is the candidate of PDP. So you could find that ab initio, the Labour man is out because he has no other support than to attach to the PDP. So it's a 2-horse race, really. It's APC
and the PDP. Now, speaking of which, Deltans say that your program of actualization is not different from that of the PDP candidate, who's also promising that he'll perform better than his predecessor.
That cannot be true at all. I tell you, for 16 years, they've done nothing, really. They've done. You go to the state, look for what they have done. Delta State is one of the highest revenue earner in this country in terms of receipt from the federation account. We should actually be funding that you should use to trigger additional resources to the state. What I find is that the style of administration has been such that you just wait for what is coming, you spend it, and then you wait for the next round. But the difference which we are bringing, which are the ideas of private sector, you see it happen in Lagos State. The state must be run like an institution, like an enterprise. The resources that come from government must be used to support and generate additional resources. And this is what is different. We believe that if you run a state as if you are running a business, but put a human face to it, and you bring private sector initiative, you actually go out to shop for investors and provide guarantees and support, then they will begin to flourish in your state. You begin to do stuff like you do in Lagos State, like you want to build roads, for example. You should not put 100% into it. There are major development projects that you do. Like you go to a bank, you want to do a project, you put what they call counterpart funding to support what you are getting. So government resources should be used to support what private sector will bring, and then you can then find a way to provide a return in each of those projects.
Which brings me to your program of providing empowerment access points to the tune of 10 billion naira. Now, how are you going to be able to set aside this huge amount amongst other competing areas of needs for development in the state?
It's still the same approach, Bukola. You want to raise 10 billion. You don't have to raise the whole 10 billion from government sources. The truth is that you first of all set a target of how much you want to set for a project. We believe that the unemployment deficit in that state is so high that you need to do something out of the ordinary to correct the situation. You have a state where, apart from the 20 to 30% that are in civil service, the rest of it is scrambling to make a living. Either they are contractors to government, or they are traders or something else. You need to attack it. The youths in particular are completely out of it. And this is serious. Women themselves are also out on the coal. So what is the 10 billion going to do? We want to use it to empower youths, women, and small-scale businesses. This group of people are endangered as we speak. So 100 days is 3 months and a few days. If you save up to 5 to 6 billion within those 3 months, you can use it to generate the additional funding, and you'll be sure that that fund is there. And like I said, we're going to introduce what we call empowerment access point. This will be points in each local government where these funds will be disbursed to people who need that support. And we are putting qualified, trained people. We call them venture capitalists who will administer this fund. These are people who will support people, who will look through what they want to do and then provide support to them.
Now, what is this about the disagreement between you and certain chieftains of the in Delta State, the Great Ogboru, and they say that it's going to affect, that's if you win the election now, your party's disposition towards governance. What exactly?
No, not really. There's the situation we have is that, the UPU assembled the whole stakeholders in Delta State under what they call the Uyamuge Declaration, and came up with a declaration that the Robo people will vote for their son that emerges either in APC or in PDP. That was before the primary. Of course, the PDP did not give the ticket to Delta Central. Only APC did. And by default, I become the qualifying candidate, and APC become the qualifying party under that declaration. I think what has happened is that along the road, a group of people felt that no, they must continue to vote for PDP in spite of not meeting the requirement, and they went shopping for Labour that is friendly to PDP to then be their governorship candidate. Another group then said, no, that is not what the declarations say. Robo must be honorable. We must live by what we say. And so there's some disagreement in that area. So you find that the union has split in a sense because there's a group that is standing up for the honor and support of the declaration. And those are standing behind me and APC and mobilizing the Yoruba people to make sure that they deliver on the word that they have given and they stand.
So to that extent, that is your disagreement with Great Ogboro. There's nothing else on a personal level?
No, nothing at all, because the declaration is supposed to differentiate between two of us and mobilize the Yoruba people to support the qualifying candidate.
All right, yes. We'll see about that. I've been talking with the governorship candidate for the All Progressives Congress in Delta State in the person of Olorogun Otega Emero. Many thanks for your time, sir.